Wah, wah, you have died. Kick the bucket. Shuffled off the old mortal coil. You have been weighed and measured and found wanting, but good news, you have at least one respawn left. Maybe you've got more, who knows? Would you like to respawn? Yes, no. Over and over again. Wah, wah, you have died. Kick the bucket. Shuffled off the old mortal coil. You have been weighed and measured and found wanting, but good news, you have at least one respawn left. Maybe you've got more, who knows? Would you like to respawn? Yes, no. Wah, wah, you have died. Kick the bucket. Shuffled off the old mortal coil. You have been weighed and measured and found wanting, but good news, you have at least one respawn left. Maybe you've got more, who knows? Would you like to respawn? Yes, no. Wah, wah, you have died. Kick the bucket. Shuffled off the old mortal coil. You have been weighed and measured and found wanting, but good news, you have at least one respawn left. Maybe you've got more, who knows? Would you like to respawn? Yes, no. I lost count of how many times I died, and I started to look forward to the moments in blackness. I even pushed it longer and longer, seeing if maybe I'd reach the point where I wouldn't be allowed to respawn. It's not like I wanted to remain dead. I wanted to respawn, but the pain and experience of dying was horrific. Obviously, there was something intensely visceral about feeling the blade cut through my skin, rub on my bones, puncture organs. Every time, Insidious would change his attack just slightly, so I could never be prepared. He'd stab me in the lower back one time, the upper back the next. Once, he just grabbed my forehead and slit my throat. Every time I snapped back into reality, I'd try to enact a plan, but I was never able to act fast enough. After what felt like forever, I realized my killer was getting tired. His breathing got heavier and his stabs were more shallow, which really just meant that it took longer for him to kill me. How wonderful for me. As I hung in the darkness once more, I just couldn't do it. I wanted to let go, to not have to drop back into reality and die all over again. I waited, not clicking the button. I hated myself for that, hated that I was giving up. It wasn't something I'd done before, for better or worse, mostly worse. I'd always been the guy who just kept pushing the boulder up the hill because fuck you, I decide when I'm done. And I'd never decided to be done. Why now then? I asked myself. I watched the warning come up and thought about ignoring it. A small text banner popped up. Maybe one more time? That was new, and it was just the kick in the pants I needed. It made me want to go in one more time, because as long as I had one more respawn, I had a chance, however remote, to make the Iron Silence pay for what they'd done. I would go in again, and this time I was going to jump first thing. I thought about jumping over and over again, and then I selected yes. Chapter 6. I popped into reality and immediately dove forward. There wasn't much thought in my head about it. My movement was purely instinctual. The asshole behind me swung his dagger, and it sunk into the wood paneling with a heavy thunk. That was all I needed. I cast Shadow Step. Sure, there was a chance I'd be attacked by creatures from the Shadow Realm, but that was a whole lot better than being stuck in the kill loop. The color left the room, and time began to slow way down. I took a look around and got a good view of Insidious. A handsome, if slightly generic dude who was looking rather the worse for wear, worn out. The room we were in was utilitarian in an I really love torture kind of way. A small wooden table had an impressive array of weapons on it, a dagger, an axe, some bare blades of different shapes, something that looked like a wire with razor blades on it. There was one door out and no windows. A rack stretched out, along one wall, and an Iron Maiden stood menacingly in the corner. Its doors hung open, and the spikes looked particularly horrible inside. There was a high ceiling above large beam rafters. I reached over, slipped out of the Shadow Realm, and snatched a dagger from the table. Then I lunged forward and slammed the dagger into the asshole in front of me.